Okay then, being motivated can overcome deficits in glucose caused by repeated goes at being at self-control, but it's very difficult to maintain those for the duration of a long event or the whole of the day if you're working.
The challenge is knowing when you want to improve your motivation and identifying when you're perhaps suffering a depletion in blood glucose.
Okay, lecturers have to maintain self-control. They've been lecturing a class for a couple of hours, and that's tiring, depleting the resources we talked about. Now, to avoid any difficulties that might come from depleted self-control, it's worth putting an if-then plan. So if I've done a 2 hours lecture, then I might say to myself, it's time for a break, and reminding yourself that of the potential negative effects that would come from resource depletion. So you're building in the replenishment of resources as part of the day, which over the long haul, over a 12-hour day or how many hours you're working, is really useful.
Endurance runners also have to maintain self-control, particularly when they're fighting sensations of fatigue. These sensations can be really intense, and the emotions that athletes tend to experience as well, often intense. So a nice strategy for runners, particularly when they're starting to tire and their technique is starting to falter, is to think of an if-then plan. So that might be, if I start to feel tired, then I will think about maintaining good technique, and that could be keeping my neck tall and my hips high.
Self-control can be really important in soccer, and we know that players wind each other up, and that can build up in emotion. So if you're a forward and a defender's been pulling his shirt all the time, you feel a build-up in anger, then you might have a tendency to snap. And at that point, you've got to remind yourself what the consequences of snapping are. Being sent off is really negative for the team.